Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. If you can see me, if you can hear me, say hello in the chat and we'll get started. Hello, welcome, welcome. If you can hear me, if you can see me, say hello in the chat. Let me get my chat window up. I'll have that up so if you have questions throughout, you can drop them there. Okay. Hello, Robin from LA. Thank you for joining us. In about 2 seconds, you're going to see a PowerPoint. Hi, Rochelle. Great to see you from Haiti. Welcome, welcome. So glad you are here. Mina, hello from New York. Welcome, welcome. All right, let me share my screen and you will see a PowerPoint in a second. We'll be here for about an hour or so. If you have any questions right off the bat, you can drop them in the chat. What brought you here, what you're curious about, the status of your film. Would love to hear all that stuff. So I'll be looking over at the chat periodically. Okay, you should see where it says Impact Open House. Can you let me know in the chat if you see that? And then I'll dive in. I'm gonna make sure that you can see before I start talking. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Oh yes, see the slides. Okay, thank you, Rochelle. All right, let's jump in then. Welcome, welcome to the Impact Open House for Looky Looky Pictures. This is an info session for you about Guided Campaign, what we do, how we help filmmakers, and very, very excited to have you here today. So first and foremost, we have closed captions enabled. You can use the button in the Zoom window to have those come up for you. This is also going to be recorded and available, so don't worry. The replay will be available both as a video and audio. So if you are listening to the replay as audio, I'll be describing what I show on screen if it's necessary. So again, welcome. We're so excited to have you for this small group Q&A for impact-minded documentary filmmakers. And our agenda for today is just some quick introductions. I'll share a bit about how we help filmmakers. I'll answer any questions that you have. Just drop them in the chat throughout, and I'll be looking over at the chat. And I'll also share how I will answer questions even if you're watching the replay. And at the end, I'm going to share a very, very special announcement that I'm very excited to share with you all. So stay tuned for that. Before we dive in and get into the meat of it, I always like to invite you to ground yourself wherever you are. If you're feeling safe, you might be walking around or driving, make sure that you're safe wherever you are. But if you would like, I invite you to just take a deep breath with me. So put a hand on your heart and just take a deep breath in. And think about your film's impact and take a deep breath out, releasing anything that's on your mind, stressing you out, has you worried. Take another deep breath in appreciation and gratitude for this moment. And a deep breath out for yourself and being present here and being here for your film and the impact that you hope to have in the world. That's no small feat. I know that it feels like it's overwhelming and you feel alone. You're not. Look at everyone else on this call. Look at the community that you're a part of, even for just this hour. And we are here to support you on your journey. So please be in appreciation of that and the work that you're doing. And thank yourself for that. And thank yourself for being here. So with that, let's continue. I want to acknowledge that we are gathered from all over the world today. We've already shared a few in the chat. And I want to recognize the historical and continued impact of colonization globally, as well as other forms of state-sponsored violence that continue today. I myself am joining from South Florida, the land of the Miccosukee, Seminole, and Tequesta, near Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So my name is Annie Mercedes. My pronouns are she, her. I'm an impact producer, founder, and CEO at Looky Looky Pictures. We help small doc teams make a big impact with their films and have worked with a ton of wonderful organizations in the industry and have been privileged to do so. What I like to say is that, well, not what I like to say, what we do is we connect the power of film with the power of people. We've worked with over 1,000 documentary filmmakers all over the world, just like you, from advising to teaching workshops to producing multi-year impact campaigns. So I'm going to share a bit about how we do that. But first, please introduce yourself in the chat. This is meant to be a party. I know it's a presentation, but it's a party, okay? If you're not here to party, then I suggest going elsewhere, because that's how we do here at Looky Looky Pictures. So introduce yourself in the chat, tell us where you're joining us from, share the title of your film, share your logline, share a website, share a trailer, whatever you want to share in the chat about your film. We would love to hear that, and where you are based. Today, I know earlier when we joined, we had folks share they're in LA, Haiti, New York. Please feel free to share. So today, I will show you, a small doc team, how to connect the power of film with the power of people, as well as how we help folks. So here on screen, I'm showing an empty movie theater with one person. It's not empty, it has one person. This is what we don't want. We don't want you to spend years and years, of course, working on your film, putting so much emotional labor, physical labor, mental labor into creating your film, and then not having anyone participate in the viewing of it. We know that you have big, ambitious impact visions for your film, but sometimes you get bogged down in the details that don't lead to impact. How do you actually do this? Do you put a social media post? What is this really about? How do you really do this? This is what we want for you: a full theater, audiences clapping, whether that's online or in person, and saying things like, this film is amazing, it's so important and so powerful, having reactions to your film, dropping emojis, and saying, I appreciate this movie very much, it's real and honest. These are screenshots that I'm showing from a virtual screening that we had for a film. This is what we want. And I'm going to show you a bit of how we do that and how we support filmmakers in getting there. So thank you again for joining. Ask your questions in the chat for anyone who has just joined. I see Marina shared. Hi everyone, Marina joining from the ancestral lands of the Lenape Canarese people, also known as Brooklyn. Welcome Marina, thank you for sharing. And if you have any questions, again, drop them in the chat for those who are here live. And those who are watching or listening to this replay, or if you're here live and you have questions later, you can always DM us. We're here to answer questions, brainstorm with you today or beyond. DM us on Instagram or Facebook. We're at Looky Looky Pictures for both, and that's plural pictures. So those are our introductions. If anyone else wants to drop in the chat where they're joining us from, we'd love to hear. And now I'm going to share how we can help you. Then we'll go into answering your questions, and finally a special announcement. So how we can help you, there are 3 ways that we help filmmakers at this moment. The first is called Impact Filmmaker. So Impact Filmmaker is a free podcast, webinar series, a community, and a newsletter. They're all completely free for you. You can get them at lookylookypictures.com/show. So there's the podcast where we have behind the scenes Q&As, things like that. If you're listening to the audio, you're listening to the podcast. There's also the YouTube channel and the lounge. So the Impact Filmmaker Lounge is a place where you can connect with other filmmakers, talk about different episodes, and just ask questions about your film too. So you can join there. It's all free. So Impact Filmmaker, again, is what it's called. It's a free podcast and webinar series, a community, and a newsletter. And I see Sam also shared. Hi, I'm Sam, joining from the ancestral lands of Lenape Canarese people, aka Brooklyn. Thank you for joining us, Sam, and for sharing. And the second way that we help filmmakers is self-study workshops or courses. We have a few up now. We're going to be releasing more very soon. Right now we have Impact in a Box and a masterclass called Film Impact for Small Teams. So both of those are on our website, along with a few more. We're going to be releasing a shop soon. So you can go to lookylookypictures.com/workshops to see those and to get those. You can start with those today. You can purchase those, and they all have collections of different behind-the-scenes workshops on impact, interviews with filmmakers, interviews with film participants. The master class is a step-by-step guide on how to create your strategy in a really simple way that's very clear and has examples. So again, lookylookypictures.com/workshops is where you can get those. And then the final way, and our most popular way, is the Guided Campaign Accelerator. It is a 6-month impact accelerator just for small doc teams. We also have had actually a few narrative films go through that, 2 narrative films go through that. As long as you have a film and you want to make an impact, we are interested in talking to you and serving your story. So let me dig into Guided Campaign and share a bit more about that. And again, any questions that you have while I am sharing, drop them in the chat and I will address them. So what is Guided Campaign? It's a transformational 6-month impact accelerator program to help small doc teams move forward with your film's impact campaign with clarity, ease, and joy. Yes, clarity, ease, and joy. Those are our pillars and our goals for you in producing your impact campaign. So here's what one of our alumni said. She said, her name is May Thornton Mara. Her film is Being Michelle. And she said, in my 12 years of independent documentary filmmaking, your program is the greatest support I have ever experienced. That is our goal, that you feel that way through the program and you get results. So here are some of the results. These are just a few from filmmakers who have gone through the program. This is the film The Falconer by Annie Kemper. She had a PBS broadcast during the 6 months that she was in the accelerator, and had 7,900 households participate in a week-long event that she designed while with us during her broadcast, which launched her screening tour. She said, I'm in awe of how much I learned during this program. I didn't even know what I didn't know. I left feeling incredibly empowered, both in terms of creating impact and seemingly unrelated things like the ability to use new tech, because we're big on automating as much as possible. I still can't believe it. So she was a team of one, just her, doing all of this and able to produce this result. Here's another example. This is a film called Missing in Brooks County by Jeff Bemis and Lisa Molomot. They had a VIP private screening, also known as a brain trust, while they were in Guided Campaign. And that's an invitation-only screening where you invite about a dozen organizations to watch your film and talk about how they can use it for impact. And it led to key decision makers and a theatrical run partner. So they said there were so many moments of clarity during their time in the program. And Lisa said it feels good to be moving forward after working on the film for 5 years. And Jeff also said the training we received in the Guided Campaign saved us a tremendous amount of time and helped us avoid mistakes. If your impact ambitions are bigger than your impact budget, Looky Looky's Guided Campaign is the answer. We can't praise it enough. So this is our goal for you, to have a shortcut for your impact campaign rather than start from zero and have to reinvent the wheel. There's no need to do that. There are too many films that have had impact campaigns that we've learned from, and we have created this structured program to help you move forward with yours so you don't have to start from zero. So what is in Guided Campaign? There are 4 pillars: care, community, curriculum, and coaching. So first and foremost, care. That is your care, your self-care, the care of your community, the care of your film participant, and care guides everything that we do in terms of impact. And I'll get into that a little bit. The second is community. So being in a community of like-minded filmmakers, we have celebrations with one another when we reach milestones, which are explicit in the program. You'll see that in a second. And you're not alone. Many filmmakers come to us feeling alone, maybe working alone. Maybe you're the only one working on your film. But being in a community is really, really helpful. The third is curriculum. So our masterclass with guidance, templates, examples, all of the curriculum, all the videos are self-paced. So you can watch the videos that will guide you through creating your campaign. And most of them are under 15 minutes and on a mobile app. So it's really easy and user-friendly for busy filmmakers. and it gives you everything that you need to move forward. And then the fourth is coaching. So we have group coaching every week. You can earn one-on-one calls with me. I personally review your materials when you submit them. So you can submit your website, you can submit your strategy, your strategic plan, and other things. And we also have milestones where you can earn some rewards, which I'll show you in a second. So another filmmaker said, having an impact campaign helped me reach the people who were most excited about my film and make an impact in their lives. This is why I made the film, right? For most of the filmmakers that come to us, you're making the film in order to make an impact. That is one of your central goals. So we want to help you get there. Another filmmaker said, before joining Guided Campaign, I felt lost and alone in my impact strategy. I was trying things with no feedback and no community. The program has changed that. Now I have the ability to ask Annie and my peers about things I'm worried about or for feedback when I try something new. So that's also why we have community as part of this. So let me get into Guided Campaign and what the features are within it. So what's actually inside of Guided Campaign. Now, before I jump into that, again, if you have questions, thoughts, suggestions, want to talk about your film, do that in the chat. And I want to frame this as a buffet. So think about when you go to a buffet. Do you eat everything in the buffet, even though it's an all-you-can-eat buffet, right? Probably not. And when you have, it's probably not a good idea. So just consume and take what is most helpful to you. And that's the way Guided Campaign works. We give you lots of resources, lots of opportunities, lots of support. And rather than consume everything, just do the things that are most helpful to you, and we'll move you forward in your campaign. With that, your focus in the program is twofold. We have two goals in the program. Number one, create your care plan, and number two, implement an impact activation. So what does that mean? Create your care plan means creating your strategy, creating a strategic document that you are proud of, that will help you gain focus and clarity around what it is that you are doing. What are your impact goals? Who is it that you're going to reach out to? When are you going to do that? So creating your strategic plan, and that usually happens within the first 30 days of the program. Your second goal is to implement an impact activation or an impact event. Now, depending on the status of your film, what partners you may or may not have, that event will be different. We guide you through different options based on those things. So based on the status of your film, any distribution deals you have, etc. We help you decide what is best within that 6-month time frame, and you implement that event while you're in the program. So those are your two goals. Create your plan and implement an event. And how to do that is the buffet of support and opportunities that you have inside the program to get you these two milestones. So here is what's included inside of Guided Campaign to support you in achieving those two milestones. The first is a roadmap. So we have a 3-part roadmap: that care, community, and connection. It gives you that roadmap, everything you need to do. It's almost like a checklist. It's only like 9 things that you need to do in order to move forward with those two milestones in the program. So you start the program with an onboarding call where we go through that roadmap. And we guide you based on, again, the status of your film, any distribution opportunities you have or that you want, any impact partners you have or that you've already built, and your own personal goals for your career. So we have a list of like 12 things that you rank based on what you want in your career. Are you looking for commercial success? Are you looking for impact as your very primary highest goal? Are you looking for something else, to master your craft, to be seen as an artist, to have success in the festivals? So we take that list of 12 things and we help you decide what is best based on your own personal goals too, because you're at the center of this. Without you, there's nothing, right? That's part of your care plan as well. Making a plan for taking care of yourself throughout this journey. So that's your onboarding call. That's where we begin. And then we have those milestones. So the 2 milestones that we talked about: creating your care plan and implementing your event, at least one event during the program. And for doing those things, you earn rewards for your milestones. You earn one-on-one calls with me. We have a group celebration when you have your event. It's kind of like a Q&A with everyone else in the program. And you're also invited to be featured at events like our podcast, the Impact Filmmaker Show, and other opportunities like that. So the program is gamified in that way, and it's a lot of fun. We love our activation celebrations and celebrating you when you achieve those milestones. Next, you have the masterclass with video lessons. So most are under 15 minutes, as I mentioned. It's made for busy filmmakers. There's also an app, so you can listen to it on the go, and that makes it more convenient. The video lessons have examples, templates, and resources for you. And all of the assignments inside of it are optional to complete, but you can turn in any assignments for personal feedback. So there are templates with some lessons that you can turn in, and we will give you feedback on those. So one filmmaker said in one of our surveys, I found it so helpful to have another set of eyes on my logline, someone who's experienced. Take a look at my website and my pitches to partners. This goes beyond what you get from just a recorded webinar, and it's been invaluable. It's helped me move forward with confidence. The next thing you get are templates. So we give you templates for a ton of things. Your care plan, which is your strategy, your impact analysis, so how to watch your film for impact. There's a film impact analysis template, social media posts, partnership kit, event checklist, website audit, or how to set up a website, or how to audit your website if you have one already. For impact specifically, pitch emails to partners, call scripts, and more. So on screen now I have a few screenshots from Guided Campaign, including a screening request form, email templates, social media post templates, and other templates that you get inside of Guided Campaign. So again, our goal is that you start somewhere. You're not, I like to say we get you to 80%. So by the time you join Guided Campaign, your campaign is already 80% done because you have all of this at your fingertips, and you just fill out that extra 20% for your film and make this custom for your film. So another filmmaker said in a survey about Guided Campaign that we send out a survey at least every 3 to 6 months. I've also loved filling out the templates for this course. They're really helping me organize my thoughts in a meaningful way. I'm remembering more ideas that I have, and I feel more capable of putting my film out in the world in a streamlined way. My brain feels less cluttered too. So remember, one of our goals is for you to feel more clarity and ease and joy. So this is part of that. Something else you receive in Guided Campaign is personal review of your impact materials. So we review everything you submit in a recorded video for you to reference. This means you receive personal feedback on your website, pitch emails, partnership kit, logline, audience engagement strategy, your goals, and so much more. We also have had Guided Campaign for almost 3 years now. So you can watch replays from previous filmmakers who've gone through the program. So if you are looking for inspiration for your website, for example, you can go to old recordings that we've done previously of other filmmakers' websites and feedback we gave them, and watch those. So we have years worth of these reviews that are only accessible inside of Guided Campaign for you to get inspiration from. So one filmmaker said, Annie, your feedback was so incredibly helpful. Thank you. Another said, your feedback on my website was also incredible. My website looks so much better now. I love it. Your perspective is so different from mine, focused on impact and reaching people, that your feedback makes such a tangible difference to appeal to people outside of the film world. And that is the goal, right? Usually your films are made to reach communities that are not necessarily those in the film industry, and reaching them is a goal. So we want to review everything from the perspective of your community and best practices around impact and engagement for online engagement, which we have been doing for years and years, since 2016. So something else you get are real behind the scenes examples from successful impact campaigns to inspire you and help you model your vision of what's possible from campaigns that we have run. And we also have a weekly group coaching call. It's called the Clarity Call. The goal is that you leave with more clarity than when you came in every single call. We hop on the call as a group of other filmmakers who are also on this journey, and you hear about each other's obstacles and opportunities. You get your questions answered. This is by far everyone's favorite part. Every time we survey our filmmakers, this is what they rate as the absolute highest in the program, because they're getting to learn from one another. You in your first month will hear from someone who's maybe in their 5th month, and you're each learning from each other, and they're asking questions that you're not sure how to ask, and then or how to answer, or hadn't thought about. Then when you get to month 5 and somebody new joins and they're on month 1, you'll be able to answer some of their questions and what they have gone through. So you really get to see your growth throughout. And something else to clarify is, unlike other programs, everyone is on their own personal 6-month timeline. I know a lot of programs have an open-close cohort model, but with Guided Campaign, we do have moments in time where we have special opening periods, like we do now. Our next deadline is coming up very soon, so apply now. But we also have open enrollment throughout the year for the most part. During the holidays, we're closed, but if our application is up, there is a wait list, and as slots open, because we keep it small so that it stays intimate, we open up the wait list for folks to join throughout the year. So you can always apply, and as spots open up, you can join. Right now, we do have a special enrollment period, so you can apply now, because we're letting in a large batch of students all at the same time. So this is a great time to apply. And finally, you get a community that's online. So there's a group where you can post questions, post polls, brainstorm ideas, get help when you need it, and celebrate wins. And you'll meet other filmmakers in the program in that community. Folks post their logline, they post their poster, they ask questions between clarity calls to get insight on whatever they need support on. So one filmmaker said the Guided Campaign is a great way to take charge of your film's life instead of waiting for gatekeepers of festivals and distributors. It gives you the big picture, a roadmap to strategize your goals, your branding, your timeline, what kinds of partners you want to have, and it gives you specific technical tools, templates, and real-world examples so that you can do your own activations. You'll get everything you're looking for and more than you thought you needed. This course will deepen your connection to your purpose as a filmmaker, and experience and understand the beauty of community. So this is some feedback that we've gotten from our amazing filmmakers in the program. You can hear more from filmmakers who completed the Guided Campaign program at lookylookypictures.com on the application page. So I want you to imagine for a second what this would mean for you to finally move forward with your film after years of working on it, to start reaching your audience and getting letters, emails, and DMs of how your film is impacting their life, because that is what we want. We want you to create tangible change that people can feel and see in their life. And what it would mean to have a clear impact strategy now. All the questions that are swimming in your mind: how do I do this? How do I reach out to partners? When is the right time to start? All of that. Having a clear strategy, one document that you can use both internally and externally to reach your film's impact audience now without feeling overwhelmed by it. You'd have a template, you'd have our feedback, you'd have examples to inspire you. There's no reason for you to reinvent the wheel. There just isn't. There are so many, just like there's a process for making a film, but every film is different. There's a process for creating an impact campaign, and every impact campaign is unique too. So we have the process inside of Guided Campaign. So you can get started by applying now. Again, we're in a special enrollment period. This is what the process looks like. So it's 3 steps. First, you apply. You tell us about your film. It's a very short application. I think it takes maybe 10 minutes to fill out, maybe less. The second is you're invited to enroll if you're a good fit. And even if you're not, we still send you resources that will be helpful to you, because we still want to support you in moving forward on your journey. And we always like to see that it's a film that we can actually serve and There are times that we've had, for example, there was a podcast that applied to us and that wasn't quite the right fit. So we just want to make sure that you're a fit for the program and that we're really curating a community of documentary filmmakers. So that's step one, apply. Step two is you're invited to enroll. The program is about $3,500 depending on the payment option that you choose. So we have payment plan options as well that you can see. When you are invited to enroll, you also get access to an advanced private training. It's a free training and it goes into the program, into our philosophy, into that framework, that care, community, and connection. We explain it in depth. And we give you more case studies and examples from filmmakers who've gone through the program so that you can have everything you need to make the best choice for yourself. And it has all of the program details, all of the payment plan options and things like that. So you can do that and enroll on the enrollment page. After you enroll, the party starts, it's impact party time, and you can get started right away with your onboarding call, with submitting your intake form, and starting with the lessons as soon as you'd like. The 6 months looks like this. In month one, generally, you create your care plan during that first month. So that's care month. Month 2 to 3, you set up your impact assets. So you create your community, you audit anything that you have, your marketing materials, things like that. You research partners. Maybe you already have some partners on board, but you can really be strategic about how you're going to reach out to them. And month 4 through 6 is you deliver that activation with at least one partner. You'll have many more than that. I think every activation has had more than one partner, but that is the connection part of the program. So from the moment you join to 30 days in or so, you'll have your strategy, your care plan clearly laid out. Then you will spend 2 to 3 months making sure you've set up your community assets, and months 4 through 6 are all about connection. Usually folks have their activation around month 5, so I kind of think of month 6 as a little bit of a buffer, which is why we made the program 6 months. So you can apply to get started. Go to lookylookypictures.com, and at the top there's a button that says apply to the accelerator, and that will take you right to the application, and you can apply there. If you have any questions, reach out. You can of course DM us on Instagram or Facebook. We'll answer any questions you have. We'll brainstorm with you. Share, if you have partners, share the status of your film, and let us know how you're doing, what your film is about, and we'd love to hear from you. Again, those who are here live, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. If you want to share a bit about your film, the logline, the title, the status, any of that, you're more than welcome to do that. If you want to come on video and just wave, that's okay too. I don't mind. And finally, a little drum roll. That's me trying to do a drum roll on my desk. A special announcement. Actually, let me go back one. After you get started, again, you'll get the details to enroll and complimentary access to our private training. But I want to make a special, very, 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 very special announcement. We now have scholarships available due to a very generous and kind donor. We have a limited number of scholarships available for this round, so apply now. The deadline is for this round, October 17th. So you have until 11:59 p.m. Eastern on October 17th to apply. Again, it is very short application. It's not like other places where you have to submit a bunch of stuff. No. We make it very, very short and easy for you. We know that you are very busy. It is not arduous. It's just one application, and you get it and you don't, and that's it. And you'll hear back from us when we're in an open period within 2 to 3 business days. When we're in a special period, you'll hear back within about 3 to 4 business days, because we usually get more applications now. So our deadline is October 17th. You'll hear back within 3 to 4 business days of October 17th of that deadline. So if you are listening to or watching this replay, you can apply now, whether we have a deadline or not. You're always welcome to apply, whether we have a wait list, whether we have a deadline, whether it's open, and as spots open up, we let folks in, or when we have a deadline you are able to apply right after at that deadline, and afterwards you will hear from us within 3 to 4 business days about the status of your application either way. Great. So with that, are there any questions? Feel free to drop them in the chat if you want to share anything about your film, what it's about, your logline, your website. More than happy to hear that now, why you're making the film, what it means to you, the community you hope to serve. I'm here for it. So please feel free to share in the chat. And while I wait for that, for questions to come in, I will share some questions that we do get. Let me stop sharing my screen. So some common questions are, when is the right time to start? Am I too early? We get that a lot. So what I suggest is, if you are thinking about impact at all, right? If you're here, if you're listening to this, you're already thinking about impact. So I would suggest doing something to get you to answer some of those questions and give you structure and direction. So one thing could be, of course, applying to Guided Campaign, getting accepted, and seeing the private training, which goes really into depth and can help just frame your thinking. Another thing could be getting one of our workshops to give you a framework and introduction, examples. We have, for example, we have one workshop on just like impact distribution. How does that work? How do you align your impact with your distribution goals? So there's a whole workshop on that. There's another workshop on creating your mission around your impact and having that, what we call a North Star, so that you have direction. So all of those things are really helpful if you are already thinking about impact, because it's going to keep you up at night anyway. You're going to be thinking about it anyway. We've had filmmakers, we've had 2 filmmakers go through Guided Campaign who are in the development phase, so in pre-production. And they said that going through Guided Campaign helped them not just inform their impact, but inform the story. So why they're actually making the film, what's going to be in the film, because they're making it for the purposes of impact. So wanted to share that. And we are of the opinion that you know your film best, you know what is best for you. So if you apply to Guided Campaign and you might be a good fit for the community, we accept you. And then we connect with you to help you make the best decision possible for you and your film. So from that point, and prior to that, you can always DM us questions that you have, and we'll support you in trying to make the best decision for you. So we have one question in the chat from George. Thank you, George. Your question is, does it make a difference if my film's been accepted at any film festivals? No, it does not. So your impact is independent of your distribution. So we have some films that come through who do not have the goal of going through festivals at all, who want to completely self-distribute. They distribute on their own, and they are managing everything. They're doing all of their distribution, the sales of their screenings, the licensing, all of that. And we show you how to do that if that's an option that you want. We also have filmmakers who want to go the complete festival traditional route, have PBS broadcasts, or looking for streaming distribution. We also show you how to do that and how you can merge your impact and your distribution goals together so that they complement one another and not compete. We also have a training on that in our workshops. And something else I was going to say was that, impact is what you can control. Distribution is what you can't control. Other people make decisions about that. But impact, you can move forward with your impact campaign, even if you have distribution goals and festival goals. The one thing to keep in mind is if you are looking for specific festivals, you would hold back on having screenings in those places until you hear back from those festivals, but we get into that in Guided Campaign. But to answer your question, it does not make a difference whether you've been accepted to festivals or not. We've had films, again, from development who are in production. Most of our films are in post and applying to festivals. That's most of our filmmakers are in that place. And we've also had films that are well beyond their festival route. We had one filmmaker who she was 2 years, no, we've had 2 filmmakers who were at least 2 years out from their last festival. They had a whole festival run, they had streaming deals, and they still felt a little bit empty. Like, where was impact? I didn't feel impact, right? I don't know what happened to that. That was one of my goals. I just kind of got in the whirlwinds of the festival and distribution cyclone, so I wasn't sure what to do. So they came to us wanting to still have impact, and we helped them create an impact campaign even after their film was out. So it is really, truly independent. So more questions that came in. Gordon asked, thank you, Gordon. Aside from or along with the Brain Trust screenings, do you work with non-theatrical screening campaigns? Yes, absolutely. So we have one model called the 30-day campaign that we teach inside of Guided Campaign. It's really a 30-day screening tour, but it can be 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. That's what we suggest. And we show you an entire model on how to create, run, and maintain your non-theatrical screening campaign, which means another way of saying that is community screenings. So we've had a ton of filmmakers do that inside of Guided Campaign and had a lot of success. I see another question from George, which is related. Can I expect to make money from my impact campaign? Yes and no. So there's two ways to generate revenue with your film. And it's not necessarily that it's impact related or not, but there are essentially two ways. One way is before the film is complete and you're looking for funding. So you're soliciting folks for funds. That can be organizations, foundations, philanthropists, crowdfunding campaigns. Basically, you're asking people and organizations for money to fund the making or to fund the impact campaign planning, right? But it's coming from other entities that you're asking for money from. That can be you're asking through the lens of impact, that can be you're asking through the lens of production, or both. Usually it's both, in the case of our filmmakers. The other way is your film is done and now you have a product that you can sell. So the way that happens is you sell it to people who want to consume it in some way. So that can be distributors, right? So that's not necessarily impact related, or it can be. You sell it to the rights to license your film for viewing to a distributor, or the most impact related way is having your non-theatrical, which is what Gordon was asking about, non-theatrical screenings where you license your film to hosts that are not distributors. They're individuals or organizations, usually nonprofits, large or small, who are paying a fee in order to screen your film for usually a one-time screening. So they're having one event that's happening once. Maybe they're having a couple of events, but each one requires a license. So we teach you how to do that in Guided Campaign, how to set that up, how to manage it yourself if you want to manage it yourself, how to set it up inside of tech platforms if you want to do that. There are several platforms out there. We have a grid that compares, I think, like 20 different platforms, and they're always growing and changing. And we also have inside of Guided Campaign recommended vendors. So if you're looking for, say, this is a little bit of a tangent, but like someone to run your social media, someone to do audio description for you, we have a list of recommended vendors where are folks that we've worked with on campaigns and have been vetted by us and our colleagues that we know in the industry, who can also be folks that you turn to for help with that. George, you have asked another question. Who sets up the logistics for all of those screenings? Inside of Guided Campaign, it is you and your team. But again, Guided Campaign is made so that you can do that on your own. We've had, like the filmmaker that I mentioned in the presentation at the very beginning, she was one person and she had an entire screening tour, a week-long event with PBS during her, and a broadcast. So she did 3 different types of activations. I'll share that again. On screen, she did 3 different types of activations, all on her own as one person. So truly, Guided Campaign is made so that it is easy, it's turnkey. We give you our templates. It's it's the best shortcut for doing this as a small documentary team. So that would be you, and you are set up forever. So once you do this once, it's not only going to serve this film, it's going to serve every project you will ever have after these 6 months. Not just in terms of the logistics and tech, which you'll have, of course, from setting up your own tour, but you'll also have the insights of what it takes to create the strategy. Those first 30 days are just the most illuminating clarity in creating your North Star, your strategic plan, your timeline, and you'll have that insight and that ability forever. We want this to be something that is useful to you always. So another question from Gordon, as we have 2 projects currently in production, in the application process, will you advise as to which is a better fit for the program? Oh, absolutely, yes, you can absolutely share both. The application is made in such a way so that you just apply with one. I'm gonna stop sharing. However, in the apply with either one, and there's a question in there that says if there's anything else you want to share, just write that inside of the application. So I'm going to show you where to put that. I'm going to share my screen. We have many filmmakers who have multiple projects, and they're like, "What do I do? what do I say?" So here on screen, you should see our website. Can you tell me in the chat if you see that? Just say yes or put an emoji or something. I want to make sure I'm sharing the right screen. Do you see that? Okay, yes, thank you, Gordon. So here, welcome, Jackie, please drive safe. I see you're driving. So here at the top right, you'll go to lookylookypictures.com, click apply to the accelerator. This takes you right to the application. Now there's a deadline. If you're watching this replay, even if there isn't a deadline, you can still apply. Even if there's a wait list, you can still apply. That way you're at the top of the wait list when we open up spots. So as people graduate, we open up spots. So here is the application. Your name, your email, those don't even count as questions. Your role on the film, your Instagram or Facebook URL so we can connect with you and to ask you questions and follow up. And then your film title, log line, the current production status of your film, and then your impact, hopes, and dreams. So this is truly your hopes and dreams. What do you hope your film, what impact do you hope it'll have? What do you think is a successful campaign that you can imagine for your film? Why are you making the film? What's your connection to the story? So that's the impact part. And then do you have an impact producer, strategist, or anyone on your team helping you? That's it. Then you can add an optional PDF. And right here is that question. Anything else you'd like to share? This is, Gordon, where you'd share, yes, we have another project. We're not sure which is a better fit. And then just tell me those same things. What's the title? What's the status? And what are your hopes and dreams for that project? Just write that in here. And then I'll get back in touch with you based on the information that you shared here, your contact information. And then we'll go from there. No worries, we'll figure it out. And then the last question, how'd you hear about us? And if you want to be considered for one of our scholarships, you can do that. Robin, I see you have to go. You're very welcome, thanks. Yes, this replay will be available. So if you'd like to be considered for a scholarship, you can follow the prompts there, and it's gonna ask you 2 more questions. Why do you think you'll be successful in the program, and what's your current understanding of the program? And that's it. So it should take about 5 to 10 minutes to complete this. So certainly go ahead and do that. And again, if you have any questions, if you're watching the replay, I'm just going to put the link to this right in the chat so you can apply today. If you have any questions, if you are watching the replay, or even if it is after this deadline, we are open for applications, even if there is a wait list, and you can go ahead and apply. So other questions? George, I see you had a question come in. Thank you, George. What are your other options? Do you ever work directly with filmmakers and direct the campaign, take a greater role? Okay, great question. So there was a point where we did implement campaigns for filmmakers. There are a couple things that we saw. One is that the most successful filmmakers, the most successful campaigns, the ones that have the most impact, who get the most tangible results, are the ones where the filmmaker themselves is doing something. And you will always be doing something as the director, as the creative producer, as the the person who is directing the film and the messages of the film, you're still making decisions about what activation are you going to have? What is your impact, right? That strategic part is still the film team. What I like to say is that you're the director of the film, but you're also the director of the impact campaign. So even if you get someone to implement for you, you're still directing. And you will be, if you so choose to participate in your impact campaign, which most filmmakers who come to us do, you'll be having speaking engagements. You'll be available for bookings, for speaking on behalf of the film when it gets screened, things like that. And you'll, again, be making decisions. Who are you going to partner with? You might be on phone calls with partners. You'll be certainly making decisions about messaging, what the website looks like, etc. So we created Guided Campaign in order for you to A, not feel alone in that, B, get inspiration, and 3, make it really easy for you to do this work. We've had filmmakers have incredible outcomes because of that, because no one is as invested and knows your film better than you. Think about any time you hire, so if you hire someone to do this work for you, which you can absolutely do, the knowledge that you have gained over the years of making your film, 3 to 5 years of specialized deep knowledge in the subject area of your film, the words to say, the connections, who are the organizations who are the big players, who are the leaders in the field of the issue of your film, all of that is knowledge you have that that person who's coming in new doesn't have. They would have to specialize in the issue area of your film. But in addition to that, what they generally do when you hire someone is transactional impact. They will book screenings for you, which is great, and that's absolutely a goal, and you can have that goal. But impact, transformational impact, which is what we want for your film, and this is usually what you want coming to us, is beyond that. So marketing is everything, all of the activities that get people to watch the film. They watch the film, right? That's transactional. What they do after watching the film, that is transformational. That's where the impact comes in. Does it change? Do they have a change in their behavior, beliefs, attitudes, actions in the world, right? All impact is a before and after of someone's life. So, and how they function in the world, right? There's the world as it is now, and you, as a visionary, as the leader of your film, as an impact filmmaker, you have a vision of what the world can be in a different way if the issue in your film is changed, if something in the world changes, if something inside of people changes. That after is the vision that you see, and your film is a portal of possibility into that vision. Watching the film transforms them, but now they really have to take an action. They have to do something, believe something, think something, share something to solidify that. So one concrete example is one film that we worked with called And So I Stayed, about domestic violence survivors and what they did in order to survive the situations that they were in. We worked with those filmmakers. They came to us, and in creating their North Star, their mission for their film, we asked them, what is it that you, what can you imagine for your film that is the most ambitious, greatest possibility for impact? And their film, again, is about domestic violence survivors who were incarcerated for their acts of survival. And they said, okay, we want to have a screening tour. Okay, bigger. What is the biggest thing you can imagine? Well, really, our dream would be to free survivors. Great, let's go with that. That's your North Star. Whether you reach it or not, doesn't matter. But that's the direction we're going in. And they were given the opportunity to use parts of the film to by counsel in court, and part of that and the organizing efforts of folks who are advocates were able to actually free some of the survivors in the film, free a survivor who was a film participant from prison. That's transformational impact. Okay, that's where we want to get to. There is There's an interview with them, there's a podcast. When you go into the guided campaign advanced private training, so after you apply, you get access to a private training, but you also get access to a Q&A with filmmakers. They're some of the filmmakers that you'll hear from, and you'll hear about their impact campaign and their journey. That's the transformational impact we're talking about. So, okay, another question came in, George, from George. Thank you, George. Is it better to have someone else negotiate on behalf of you? How do you determine price? Do you set that up? Oh, great question. So there's an entire training inside of Guided Campaign so that you can be very confident in negotiating for anything, whether it's price for your screenings, whether it's access to someone, whether it's an introduction. We want you to go through Guided Campaign being extremely confident about your film with anyone, with a film participant, with a distributor, with a partner. No, this is you being empowered to take ownership completely of your impact campaign. And you get trainings on that, you get scripts on that. We can do role plays during clarity calls. This is meant for you to level up, okay? To really step into being an impact filmmaker fearlessly. This is the work of changing the world, okay? Let me just ground us in that. This is not just, let's have some screenings. This is, let's change the world. That's what impact is about. We can't be shy about that. We can't be coy about that. We have to be confident and fully step into that. And Guided Campaign is all about that. Really igniting in you the spark of passion that and imagination and possibility that you are making this film with. Sometimes that spark feels like it's like a tiny candle in a dim room. Oh, no, we're gonna light it up, okay? That's what happens inside of a Guided Campaign. You are lit up with others who are on a similar journey. Even if it's different issue areas, this is possible. So this is a shortcut. This is a portal of possibility so that you feel completely confident negotiating on your behalf, on behalf of your film participants, advocating for your film, advocating for yourself and your career. Yeah, this is not just some video lessons. This is a transformational experience, and that's why we call it that. It is a 6-month transformational experience for you and your film, and the possibilities for changing the world through storytelling. That is what we are doing, making people's lives better, making the world a more just and equitable place through storytelling, not just watching a film. That's important and transformational, and it's an experience. But this isn't just, you're not just going to the movie theater and randomly escaping. You're engaging more in life through the films that we serve. So, not to say that escape is bad. I go to the movies too, okay? I like some Marvel movies, so it's just we're doing something different. George, another question. Thank you. What if you want I'm guessing that's someone to run the back end of the campaign, fund potential sponsors, do all the logistics when it comes to the events? Do you recommend people? What if we want someone to run the back end of the campaign? Fund potential sponsors, do all the logistics when it comes to events. Do you recommend people? We do have recommended vendors. If you want to hire someone to run your campaign, that's not something that we're doing at the moment. It might be something that, if you're watching the replay of this, is available now if you check our website, but everything that we offer I described here. Inside of Guided Campaign, the intention is that you run your campaign with your team. That might be that you hire someone on your team to help run your campaign. That happens all the time. So we had another filmmaker, and we have a workshop about this, how to run a campaign without an impact producer. We have a workshop on this. You have 3 options. You can hire someone from the community that you hope to serve. You can hire your film participant, or you can work with an organization that you're partnering with to help you with that. One of the ways that has been most successful is hiring one of your film participants to work with you. We talk about that and how to do that. We've had impact producers inside of Guided Campaign who are film participants who are of the community that the film serves. So that's definitely something that you can do. One great example of this was the film Being Michelle, about a woman who was deaf and was incarcerated and did not have access, was not given access to an interpreter. So she's incarcerated, unable to communicate. That film came to us and asked, can you implement our campaign for us? And I said, I don't think that we are the best fit to serve this community. We really suggest having someone on your team who can relate to this experience in some way. So they were able to find someone in their audience already. We show you how to do this. There's someone in your network, I promise you. If you've been working on your film for more than 1 year, there's someone who you know who can help you with this and who would be better at serving your film because they're part of the community than we would, or a professional film industry impact campaign professional, because they're of the community. They know the community, they know the issue, they know who the players are. But anyway, they brought in someone who she herself was deaf and had an experience where her family member was incarcerated without access to communication and interpretation. That person was way, way better positioned and to serve that film than we were. So that filmmaker, who I mentioned before, May, she was the one who said that this is the best support she's received in her 12 years of filmmaking. I'm paraphrasing. She said that our support was able to help them, and her and her team, including the impact producer that they brought on, who was deaf and of the community, they went through Guided Campaign. So her impact producer, who is doing the implementation, who's of the community, had our support in the experience that we have, our templates, everything that I just shared with you. She was able to use the tools in Guided Campaign to serve the community through the film. So that's another way to do it, and that's something that a model we also highly recommend and we bring into Guided Campaign all the time. You bringing someone on your team who is of the community and specializes in the issue area, plus having us and our expertise in the film area, right? Film industry, film impact, and our templates and whatnot, and our guidance every week. You can ask questions, all of those things. That's one way that you can also use Guided Campaign. But again, it's made for one-person teams to go through. It's the only shortcut that we know of that will support you in this very comprehensive way to creating a successful impact campaign. So as you can see, I'm long-winded, but I love all your questions. Thank you. Gordon shared, ergo why we as filmmakers have and continue to want to work with Looky Looky. Thank you very much, Gordon. I hope to see your application come through. And next, are you still doing the filmmaker self-care? And I know you put that in quotes, filmmaker self-care. So filmmaker self-care is a huge goal of ours. In Guided Campaign, when you create your strategic plan, you actually create a care plan for yourself. How are you caring for yourself? What are you doing to do that? And it's not like an aside. No, it is central to this. Without you caring for yourself, without you making time to refill your cup, you will burn out. You will become overwhelmed. And guess what? The entire campaign stops. If you are not in a good place where you are whole and complete and taking care of yourself, the whole film stops. You are the nucleus. Okay, you, then your film participants and your film team, and then it goes out from there. But you are the engine that fuels this. If you don't have your care as part of this, it all stops. Okay. And I see you have a clarifying question, but there was a program offered by Looky Looky in the past, correct? No, this was it. Guided Campaign. We've never had an explicit filmmaker self-care. We've had a workshop, which was 1 hour, and that we're going to be releasing again, but not an entire program. Self-care is built into this program, and one of the first things you do actually is you write your future self a pep talk. So that's a lot of fun. And you get a weekly digest of things happening and reminders inside of Guided Campaign as an email. And in that email, we put in the pep talks from each of the filmmakers who come in. So it's a lot of fun. But yeah, no, we have a lot of fun. We have fun doing this. This is, if you're not having fun, then let's re-examine that, because this is chosen work. Let's remember that. No one is forcing us to make a film. No one is forcing us to create impact. Usually the film participants who are in our film, they are in a dire situation, or they're very vulnerable, or they personally are put on screen in usually times that are the most vulnerable in their whole life. They're really going through it. We have the luxury of making films. We have the luxury of moving forward and philosophizing about how we can change the world. That is a beautiful thing. So I know it's overwhelming. I don't say that to disregard the work that it takes, the emotional labor, and maybe you are the film participant in your film. I want to recognize that as well. But I also want to recognize that there is joy in this work. It is a beautiful thing to be able to say, one of the things that I'm going to do with the life force of the life that I've been so privileged to have is use it in this way. Use it in a way that will hopefully make someone happy, make someone smile, change the world. So George, you said you give me hope. You're right, change the world. Yes, absolutely. You're very welcome, Gordon. You say thank you so much. Motivational. Your passion is infectious. This is how I operate. So if you want a weekly dose of me and our Guided Campaign community, the whole community is infectious. You are all infectious. This inspires me, and this is why I've been doing this for as long as I have, since 2016. So I'm still not over it. I still have a ton of fun doing this. My favorite part is connecting with filmmakers. So I know we're past the hour. I've just gotten so excited and your questions are so great. I'm going to wrap us up there. But again, if you have any questions at all, just DM us. I get back to you. Some of my team gets back to you. We always send a welcome email, welcome DM when you follow us on Instagram too. I think of the online space, Total Tangent, as like a coffee shop, and everyone's just like hanging out and doing stuff. So if someone follows us or says hi to us or puts a comment, we always say something back. It's like in a coffee shop. If someone says hi to you, you're not going to just like ignore them. So I love the DMs. And I love when people connect. I see in the chat, folks are trying to connect with one another. That's so great. So you do that inside of Guided Campaign too. You have your community, you'll meet each other. We have folks who have met up. We have folks who've worked on each other's projects inside of Guided Campaign. It's really beautiful. We love it. And love seeing that you're connecting in the chat. Thank you so much. All right, let's wrap up there. Apply to Guided Campaign. Go to lookylookypictures.com, click apply to the accelerator. Whether you apply now during our deadline by October 17th, whether you apply and there's a wait list up depending on when you're listening to this recording, just apply. We'll get back to you ASAP and are super excited about connecting with you and hearing about your films. Any follow-up questions that you have, please reach out in the DMs. We will get back to you. And the reason I love the DMs is because you can get a voice memo. We can correspond through voice memo without having to schedule a call. So yeah, I do voice memos over scheduled calls. It's way better, way funner, and doesn't take up the back and forth of scheduling. So DM us questions, share your film, share your logline, share other projects you're working on. Just say hi. If you have any good knock jokes, I'll take those too. I'm about it. So definitely DM us and apply to Guided Campaign. When you apply, we also reach out to you in the DMs as well. So have a ton of fun on this journey. We hope that we cross paths with you. And again, apply to Guided Campaign at lookylookypictures.com. And we'll be in touch. Thank you so much for coming. Yes, to be continued. Thanks, Gordon. Take care, everybody.